The truth about the illusion, so you can show your friends. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. First, first you need. I want to tell you this, and also gravity, and with there's six dimensions. But I'm going to show you the truth about my illusion real quick, so you can understand what I mean. That I'm telling you the truth. I don't want you to think that I'm doing black magic or trying to get people to think I'm some kind of Christ or something. And you need another card. And what you're going to do with that, you're going to need two different cards. Now, the first part is you're going to have to fold your card in half. Make sure it's pretty close as you can get, and get it really raw rubbed. Fold it back and forth one direction this way. Make sure you don't breathe any of that powdery stuff that comes off. Even maybe put your fingernail a little bit through the center of it right here, a little bit, just so it looks like it's going to be pieces that are stuck together later. Then you're going to fold it halfway the other way. Now don't do it this way and fold it in half and then fold it in half, or you'll end up with uneven sides. So once you do back and forth, nice and limber like that, almost tearing apart, do it the other way. And after you've done this, you'll have a card that's got a plus in the middle of it. Do it both ways. Make sure it looks really limber, looks like it's been torn apart and put back together, okay? Now, the final stage of this is to tear one of the long sides down the middle like this. This is going to be the hard part later on for you to conceal. Now, look at this. Now, whenever you fold it, this is the way you fold it. You want to fold your two flaps, your loose ends, fold them towards, so you have your side that's the same as your other card. Either that, or you can use this side, but you need two seven of clubs. You need a seven of clubs pieces too, so you can make it look like you have a seven of clubs you tore up. So whenever you fold it like that. Your flaps go in like this, these flaps, and then you want to fold it towards, not away, or else the illusion won't work later. You want to fold it towards, because what you're going to have is what looks like one piece. Now, the hard part next is figuring out what piece goes next on here, because it's reversed from where you are. Now, the secret is to open this without them knowing it, and to hold the piece that you're going to put on there. So, in other words, sorry about that. If we wanted to put this piece on next, okay, we got our two pieces. From behind, here's what I see. And when we conceal this piece like this with our hand, we're actually holding it there where it would actually be, and we're releasing this flap, and without them seeing it. The hard part for me was to do this and to open this without that being visible. So the angle is very, very important, and it can be very frustrating to get right. The first one I like to do from behind, if you want to see what I was seeing when I did it right finally after about 100 takes, is to actually hold this flap, but at this angle you can't see it. So the first one's easy. Then you can, from behind, push your thumb over without them seeing. You see how it's concealed, and rub, 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 and now I'm still palming this piece in my hand. That's not seen. Now I got to reach for another piece, so I have an excuse to get rid of that one and pick up another one, see? And so there's the basis of my illusion. Now, David Copperfield first did this on a TV show. He's the king of illusions. Everybody would know that. I mean, he is number one. He when I was a kid, he was always doing disappearing, flying, making planes vanish, and the Statue of Liberty. But he did this with a playing card that was worth millions, like I think it was a hockey player or something, and that's pretty much how it was done. Another one of my favorites was the pencil through the $100 bill, which I'm not gonna give that away. You can buy that though. It has nothing to do with the gravity of everything I was wanting to talk about, though. Seriously, gravity is the fifth dimension. It's what opens the universe and pushes against everything, making it circular. The stars, it holds you to the earth. It's moving particles that are smaller. I'm not going to get deeply into that, but the sixth dimension is the singularity, which was ripped apart in pieces, and everything gathers around it, not because the gravity pulls it, but because the gravity's pushing towards that. It's the opposite. It's the sixth dimension. It was all one. It was pulled apart, whether you want to believe God opened it or it blew up, whatever. That's what they are. That's why the Earth is around one. So there's actually infinite gravity at the very centerless center of all these singularities in space-time, the center of the galaxies and everything, because it's not the same thing as gravity, which is pushing everything towards that because of the bombardment of it. It moves around, bouncing in between everything faster than light. They're smaller, and most of them penetrate you. You're part of the Earth. If you jump high enough of them will bombard you from underneath also, so you can finally get away from the Earth somewhat. The gravity becomes less pressure the further away from this you are. if the planet was smaller, you'd have less gravity because more of those come through the planet. The bigger and denser a planet is, the more gravity there is because the more bombardment. When the moon goes over the water of the ocean close enough, a lot of those bombarding things are hitting the moon and bouncing the other directions. So the water seems to come levitate towards the moon as it moves over the water because of these things bombarding everywhere. I'm not going to get too far into that, but the opposite of that would be the singularities or black holes, which is where matter and everything can't leave because there's infinite gravity the closer you get to the singularity. And so it appears that there's more attraction there, yet they can't figure out what that is. Therefore, in the Bible, it says there would be no more sea, which is the gravity in between everything. And it goes back to a lake of fire, like the sea and B, but hotter because he added all that stuff to it. And the devil's crushed in it, and it goes to a singularity and vanished forever, never coming back. It was no place found for it. And there was a new heaven and earth, and the new heaven opened because he opened it and forgot about what was outside, and so it crushed everything outside in the dark, and it was infinitely hot, and it just